All right, what is going on, everybody? It's me and Ilya here. Ilya Kobe work together from the Kobe Real Estate team. Ilya, how you doing?
Hello, everyone. We are doing really great. We are getting towards the end of the year 2022, and we are very, very excited about 2023 in real estate. And we see some great, great opportunities out there.
That's
And
right.
this can be for both, sellers and buyers at the same time. So,
Yeah, and I mean, at the end of the year, like we know, right, Ilya? At the end of the year, you can grab some great deals if you're serious, right? So,
yeah, based on my long time experience, the end of the year or this time of the year, it's one of the best times to buy real estate because a lot of people think that during holiday season nobody's buying, so many buyers they lose interest.
right,
So for the buyers, that's the main benefit because if you are a buyer out there and you go to the real estate market to buy something, your competition is not the seller,
exactly,
the competition are the other buyers.
right,
So if less buyers are out there, then you are in a better position when you are competing towards the other buyers in the real estate market.
right, exactly. And then on top of that, with this situation in the markets, right, it's much easier for you to negotiate the price a little bit, right? So you can get a great deal.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I mean, the less demand from the other buyers, it gives you as a buyer more advantage to to compete because if I am a seller and then I have, let's say, 10 or 20 buyers coming through the doors,
Right,
then I see that it's a high demand for my property. But when I see that there are only two or three or four or five buyers coming through the door, it tells me that there's no demand out there.
right.
And
So, Ilya, what I want to ask you before we go, because this is going to be about buyers, right? But let me ask you a few questions here. So, what would you say to like somebody that's new into the market, right? And they're kind of scared because they listen to the mainstream media and they listen to all these people creating scarcity. What would you say to them if they're in the market for buying a house right now?
yeah, so real estate market or the media, it's like any other products out there. So in order for them to make like, I mean, to get more views, when they put out there like a bad news, definitely they're gonna get more people listening to that news because we know that if you put a bad news out there, more people they're gonna pay attention to what somebody is telling about the real estate market.
Right,
And I mean, to tell the truth, there's been some, I mean, not disadvantage, but we know that buyers, I mean, they got a hit this year in terms of the interest rate moved up, so
right,
that's a reality.
hmm,
But at the same time, based on our experience, when something like that happens, when the market changes and it creates fear among the buyers out there or the sellers,
right,
at the same time, we know that it does create opportunity as well.
right,
So the smart buyer or the smart seller, uh, it has to look not at that news or the bad news that we listening to the real estate market.
right,
They have to look at what's the opportunity now. And
right,
we know that every market brings its own opportunities. So the opportunities for, let's say, for a buyer, if we're talking about buyers, is that they have seen some benefits. The buyers that are coming now on the market, they've seen benefits compared to the buyers that were in the spring. And what's their
right,
benefits? There are three benefits that we see right now. Number one benefit is that you don't have to pay 10% over the asking price to
right,
secure a property. The second main benefit is that you don't have to waive the home inspections anymore. So the buyers are again coming with it, doing the home inspection, and also that home inspection creates opportunity for further negotiation if you find some defects on the property.
right,
And the third benefit is that you don't have to waive the appraisal contingency that some of the buyers in the spring were trying to do. So again, so these are benefits, so this is
Right.
the opportunity right now for the
Right.
buyers. I know
Yeah.
that you might pay little higher interest rate, which
Right.
might be temporary, because you always can refinance in the future. But you and me, Alex, we have seen that some of our buyers were able to get one of the best rates on the market.
Right.
So we remember we were able to help 3 or 4 our buyers that
Right.
they could get a 3.75 interest rate
That's right.
in
That's a
today's
gift.
market, when
Right.
other people are paying 7%
That's right.
6% interest rate.
That's right. And yeah, like, I mean, financing is only one part of the whole situation. Yes, I mean, it changes and it fluctuates. And, like, you see all these people, right? In the beginning, they do the 30-year fix. Now they try to move towards the arms, right? But that's the benefit of the financing. You have more options, right? But locking in a great price, that's the most important thing you can do. And you're going to be living there. If you like the area, if you like the schools in the area, if you like the neighborhood, it's so much better than just thinking about the financing aspect of things, right? Don't you agree with that?
Yeah, of course. Buying a home, like if you are a buyer and you're buying a home for yourself, I mean, the financing or the financial you want the financial benefits is one of the benefits,
Mhm.
but there are many other benefits that they come with a home ownership. You
Exactly.
know, home ownership is one of the American dreams, and has been for years. So, I mean, there are other benefits. One benefit is that, let's say you have your own home. You live.
Right.
I mean, you can. It's an enjoyment. When you have your own home, you can do anything with it. Let's
Right.
say uh, you can paint any color you want.
Right.
Let's say if you are a
Right.
renter, I mean, there are restrictions on a lease that you
Right.
cannot paint
Right.
with the color that you want. Let's say you have a boy and a girl. I've seen cases when she wants the room to be pink color. But
Right.
if you are a tenant or a
Right.
renter, you cannot do anything,
You can only do so
and
much, right? Exactly.
you cannot change the colors. The
Right.
other thing is that you choose the location. You can
Exactly.
choose, let's say when you buy a home, you say, I want to live in that part of the town,
Mhm.
or I want to live, I mean, near the public transportation. So you choose the location where to live.
Right.
And
Right.
the other
Right.
thing is that you don't
Mhm.
have the landlord like coming to you, and let's say at the end of the month might say, or at the end of the lease they might tell you that, hey, we're going to go up 10% on the rent. They
Right.
can increase the rent.
Exactly.
When you have a mortgage, you lock to that payment for 30 years,
Right.
and you are the only one to change that payment. And
Exactly.
the only way you change is that by changing down, but it never goes up.
Right. Exactly. And yeah, I mean, like you said, it's so important that, I mean, people understand that you're already paying a mortgage, right? Just you better get your name on the mortgage statement, not your landlord's, right? That's the whole idea here. That you're already paying somebody else's mortgage because the person that owns the place is an investor, and you're paying his mortgage instead of yours. That's why we should try and get people to
Yeah, and,
get
and
their
the
own
other
home.
thing is that, let's say the mortgage, the rental payment is 100% expense.
Exactly.
So it's when you will see a mortgage payment, that's not 100% expense. Actually, 25% of that payment goes towards principal. Let's say
Right.
if you were, I mean, we have seen that, let's say if you buy a property at maybe $9 to $1 million, and then you put down 20%, maybe close to $900 a month, they're going to go towards the principal, roughly,
Right.
So that is, and not only that, but at the end of the year, um, as we say, the government will pay you part of that mortgage,
Right.
because when you file your taxes, like the mortgage is 100% deductible, to while the rental, I don't think that it's 100% deductible. So
Exactly.
on
And then,
tax
by the
return.
way, that's the thing, right? I mean, me and you know, came to this country, like, and we tried to learn. But when I mean, you came here way earlier than me, but we realized that, there is so much help because they want you to own a home, right? I mean, back home is pretty much impossible. And if you're an immigrant, in this country, it's hard. But here, they want you to own a home. They make it easier for you as long as you stack your cards right. And then, there is a lot of things you have to consider, like credit scores, and, but they want you to own a home. It's not too hard, right?
No, I mean, if you know how to do it and if you have the right people on your side, I mean, and if
Exactly.
you're working with the right realtor, we have seen buyers that they, I mean, they've been surprised for things that don't know and for things that they will learn when they work with a real estate professional because we're
Exactly.
doing this every day.
Right.
And definitely it's easier here to buy a home because here you don't have to pay cash for
Right.
the whole property.
Right.
I mean, you are leveraging the money of the lender, of
Right.
the lending institution, of the
Right.
bank. So you're gonna put a minimum down payment a day. It's about, I mean, the average would be 5% for
Right.
someone who is buying a home,
Right.
but there are programs out there that you can even put 3.5%. And
Exactly.
if you are a veteran, I mean, there are programs for veterans that they are with 0% financing.
Right.
So there are huge, huge benefits of and ways that you can leverage someone's funds to
Right.
buy the property. So you don't
Right.
have to come with your own money.
Right. And I mean, like, one thing I found out, and I mean, you can agree with that, is what is the first step? Many people, they will tell you the first step is get your credit score right, or, get a good income. Honestly, the first step is to find the right person to give you good advice, because good advice is priceless and will save you so much time. But if you don't have somebody to advise you on how to do it right, then it's like you're trying to figure it out. You research, and like we said, the media, confuses everybody. So get your professional, there's somebody that you trust, to be in your corner and guide you through this. And when you're ready, you can buy the house, but do it right, so you can do it in the efficient manner as far as time goes, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, anything you do today, even if you have, let's say you have a leak in your home,
Mhm.
the person that you're gonna, if you wanna ask to come and fix it, will be the professional, will be a plumber, which
Exactly.
is, let's say that one might cost even, I don't know, $200,
Right.
But I can understand when people are making the biggest investment in their life, which is hundreds of thousands of dollars,
Exactly.
without getting an advice from real estate professional.
That's
And
right.
the beauty of, let's say, if you are a buyer, is that you don't have to pay that real estate professional directly,
Right.
to get that advice.
Right.
And that is one of the benefits of buying a home, that you are not paying a real estate fee directly to the real estate agent. So the real
Exactly.
estate, that fee comes out of the seller proceeds.
Exactly.
So, but it's not only that, but advice can save you thousands of dollars, and
Exactly.
it can save you in many ways. For
Exactly.
example, real estate professionals, when we interview people, we see how their financial profile is,
Right.
and we know, for example, which lender has the right program
Right.
for that buyer, because you might be
Exactly.
a first-time buyer, you might be a move-up buyer,
Right.
you might be an investor. So there are different type of buyers.
Exactly.
So not
Exactly.
not not every lender has the same program for a specific buyer, but a
Right.
real estate professional who is on the field, has
Right.
worked with other buyers in the
Right.
past.
Right.
He knows that, hey, if you are a first-time buyer, these are the programs available for you.
Right.
If you are an
Right.
investor, this is where you can benefit. If you want to move up, or if you want to buy a more expensive home, then these are the
Exactly.
programs then that are available for you.
Right.
So definitely it's a huge benefit. And the first step to buying a home is meet with your real estate professional. Just have an interview,
Right.
and you'll be amazed how many things you'll learn from that
Exactly.
real estate professional.
Right. Right. And then, I mean, one thing is because this market, and we're going to move to the slide, but one thing is this is always changing. And like you saw, like within the past like 6 months, right? We've seen a lot of things changing, a lot of financing changing, a lot of negotiation going on. So if you don't have somebody that's on the field like us, right? I mean, they might be so out of touch. They might be thinking that, right now it's still like, people are outbidding each other, but you need somebody on the field. You need somebody that can, because at the end of the day, we just put puzzle pieces together, right? And if you don't have
Yeah,
somebody that has the exposure every day to do that for you, I mean, he's out of touch. It's impossible to get this going. It's like the glue that keeps everything together, right?
yeah, definitely. That's again, we can tell again the story of Michael that came to our open house, right?
Exactly.
And Michael, I mean, he wanted to buy something, and he had a different goals based on what he was listening to the news.
Right.
And he's saying maybe right now it's not the right time to buy a home because the interest rate is at 7% and 6%. And we were able to secure for Michael a great interest rate at 3.75%. I mean, 30-year fix. And
Right.
he was able to buy one of his dream properties,
Right.
and not buying the dream property, but also getting the best interest rate out there. We could,
Exactly.
we technically we saved that buyer 50% interest on his monthly
Exactly.
payment, which is
Exactly.
huge. Let's say if I
Right.
tell you, hey, if you buy that home, we can give you 50% discount. Would you buy?
Right. Exactly.
Definitely, definitely would buy it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Very good. So let's move on to this. Let's give some our buyers here. Let's give some tips, and then we'll have a special tip at the end that's not in this slide, right? But let's tell them like here is a few tips for buyers, right? If somebody came to you, like walk them through this list here. What should they do?
So one thing that is, I mean, though let's say we say the market has changed, but one thing that hasn't changed a lot is the inventory.
Right.
So the inventory stays low. So let's say if you are a buyer and then you had like in your search criteria, like say 3 towns, and you don't find the inventory out there, we can help you just to expand that search uh, criteria and area. So
Exactly.
maybe there are some other towns out there that you don't know, but because we are on the field,
Right.
uh, we know that there are some towns that can provide the same benefits for as the towns that you are searching for, and you can be at the same price range.
Right. Right.
Or there are other benefits that if you go from one town to the other town,
Right.
uh, there are some other tax benefits. For example,
Right.
if you buy a property in Boston, for example, one of the tax benefits is that uh, you'll benefit that what is called the residential exemption in taxes.
Exactly.
So, the city of Boston, for everyone who buys a property as an owner occupied, uh, will give them a credit like a lump sum a
Hmm.
year, which is close to over $3,000.
Right.
But if you convert that $3,000 into a monthly payment, which is average of $200 a month,
Hmm.
$200 a month, you can afford another close to $40,000 mortgage.
Right.
So you can buy a better property, or it's going to cost you less money to buy that property if you move from one town to the other town.
Right. No, this is great advice. I put Elias handle down here, guys. If you wanna follow him on YouTube, we provide daily content, and same thing as Instagram, right? But yeah, that's the most important thing. And I mean, if you are like to explain it to yourself as how you should think about a good negotiator, right? A good negotiator, like what we do, will get you in a equity first day, right? And it's amazing to know that you just walked into a house and you just build wealth like 50 or $100,000 just walking in, right? It's a beautiful thing, and there is no other investment vehicle either that can offer you this so many benefits with such little risk, right? That, in this channel I've done many stocks, Ilya, too, and but real estate is unique in that aspect, that will minimize your risk, and it's very, very hard for you to like lose your money, but you appreciate so much more, right, with all the benefits, correct?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, right at the beginning, when we work with buyers, uh, I mean, if you remember the last deal, for example, we were able to save close to 10%, right?
Exactly.
In,
Exactly.
at the time of the purchase. So you buy a
Right.
product, and then working with a real estate agent that is a great negotiator, you save like 10%, at the very
Exactly.
beginning.
Right.
That's a
Right.
huge
So
benefit.
right. So that day you walk in with the keys, you already have a lot of equity in there.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
amazing.
yeah, and the other thing is that we talked about loan types and options. So there are many
Mhm.
loan types and options out there that you can benefit for. Somebody would qualify you with 5% down payment. Somebody qualify you with 3.5% down payment. Because what I've seen, Alex, working with buyers,
Mhm.
they think that to buy a home today, you need to have 20% down.
Right.
And this is also something that a study have made, and the majority of the buyers think that to buy a home today, you need 20% down payment.
Right.
But that's a myth.
That's true.
Actually, you might need 5% down, you might need
Exactly.
3.5% down,
Right. Right.
and
And I
this
mean,
is
what
another one.
exactly, and what you said about the 5%, I want to give this because that's the best advice. Let's keep it at the end, because that 5%, it's really, really good trick. Ilya's gonna tell you he has a lot of personal experience with that and helping people. So okay, let's tell them a little bit about the grants. I mean, we start seeing that as well right now. We start seeing people looking for this kind of credits and grants and navigating toward these programs because, like you said, the interest rate starts raising a little bit, but this can offset a lot of the costs. So, what are some of the things they can look for?
I mean, there are three main things are here that we see from different lenders, and the lenders are trying to become creative because they also want to sell their product. If they don't sell mortgages, then these lenders, it's going to be in difficult position. So
Exactly.
what they've come out a lot of creative ways to encourage buyers to buy properties. So there are a couple of programs. One can be the grant money.
Hmm.
So here in Massachusetts, we have the mass housing program
Hmm.
that will give money towards first-time home buyers
Hmm.
as a down payment. So you can apply, and then I remember that grants were close to even $30,000 grant
Wow,
money that will give you for a first-time home buyer.
that's great.
We talked about some other lenders that they are offering lower interest rate than the market, and especially the local lenders or community banks, credit unions.
Hmm.
So one thing I want to explain here about the rates
Hmm.
is that when here on the news, let's say the rate like 7%, 6%,
Hmm.
these are the interest rate they are backed by the government, like Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac,
Right.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But we forget that there are other lending institutions like local banks.
Exactly.
The local banks in this market, they came out with their own programs, or as we call
Exactly.
it, like portfolio loans. And this one will give to the buyers different type of programs with a lower interest rate than what we are hearing in the news.
Exactly.
And also, there's another program. It's like a buy down rate program. So
Right.
some of the lenders will offer you maybe the first couple of years a lower interest rate, and then
Right.
later on they'll start with a different rate. We are not loan officers, we are not experts,
Right.
But what we can help you with is that we can connect you with the right loan officers, the right
Right.
lenders out there, and they can explain to you, and you can see if that program benefits you, you can use it. If it doesn't benefit you, you don't have to use it. So it's very
Right.
simple.
That's great. So now here is the juice. Here is like why I want you guys to listen to this till the end, because like I heard you, Leah, talk about it. You helped a few people, and I think this is a very good advice and very smart use of, or like using that 5% down payment to buy one property and then maybe roll it over to the next one, as long as you do it right with the criteria. But talk to us about that, because that's a very, very good way to build wealth really fast, and it's great advice. So how can people do that with a 5%?
So uh, the 5% down payment is that most of the programs out there, if you are buying a property that you will live in that property and you are considered as owner occupied, and sometimes the first time home buyer also is considered as owner occupied,
Right.
then the bank will allow you to qualify with a 5% down payment,
Hmm.
which is again, I mean, the myth is that you need to have 20% down.
Exactly.
The second myth is that if you buy a second property, then you need to put 20% down payment.
Right.
But again, that is not true, because if you buy that second property as an owner occupied, you still can put 5% down payment.
Right.
If you buy that second property as an investor,
Right.
then you have to put 25 or
Right.
20% down payment. But if you
Right.
buy this owner occupied,
Right.
then you can put 5% down payment. So some of
Right.
our past clients, what they have done, let's say if they bought a condo, for example, as owner occupied, they put 5% down payment.
Mhm.
And if they move from the condo to a single family, then they still can put 5% down on the single family and keep the condo for investment.
Right.
And then if you that single family, for example, had 2 bedrooms, 1 bath,
Mhm.
and later on your personal situation changes and your family grew and you need from 2 bedrooms, you need a 3 bedroom,
Right.
2 bath, you still can move to that
Bigger.
two to a bigger property or to a better property than the what you currently have. You still can put 5% down payment.
Right. Right.
So this is that you can buy maybe the same amount of money.
Right.
You can buy not just one property, you can buy
Right.
maybe three, maybe four
Right.
properties,
Right.
as long as the new property that you're buying
Right.
is considered as a better
Right.
property,
Right.
or is better quality, better location, closer
Right.
to your job. But
Right.
if you want to find out more, you can connect with us and we can tell you
Exactly.
how you can build more wealth with having the same amount of money than using that amount of money just in one property.
Exactly. Exactly. And this is, I mean, this is a beautiful, beautiful tip. Like, I mean, this is amazing, right? Because I mean, if you think when you're starting out, you're single, maybe you don't have anybody around you, so you can settle in maybe for a worse property, and you still own your home. But if you keep applying that, right, and you do it because your family needs change or your job changes. I mean, in the time span of 5 6 years, the things you can do with this is just amazing. It's great advice.
Yeah, of course, because people always say that they come to me that, oh, I mean, I don't have money to buy, for example, my second property. I ask them, why don't you have money? Because, oh, I need to put 20% down. I said,
Right.
no, that's not true. you
Right.
know, I mean, you can buy it even by putting 5% down.
Right.
And sometimes you can use the equity that you have built in the current property. I mean, you don't have to put money, let's say, out of your savings. You
Exactly.
can you can use the current equity you have
Right.
built on the property that you live. You take that equity and use towards the down payment on the
Payment.
next property.
Right.
So I mean, you don't have to use that saving. You still have to
Right.
keep it, but you
Right.
can use the equity, and still you can apply just that
Right.
5% rule that you benefit as an owner occupant
Right.
on buying the next property.
This is beautiful, Ilya. Thank you so much for all the value you provided. I'm gonna try to have you the channel frequently here, talking about real estate, because at the end of the day, like like the only way to build wealth is like pretty much with a good investment, and real estate is one of the best, right? So
Yeah,
this is great.
the things that my saying that I prefer is that real estate is not the best way, but it's the only way so you become wealthy.
That's right. That's right. And it's risk free, right? So we
Yeah.
don't have to make our hair gray yet, right? So
Yeah.
very good. So thank you for the help, Ilya. Thank you for the
Thank you.
value
Thank you, Alex,
provided.
for inviting. Yeah.
Great pleasure. And you guys go follow him at Ilya Kobe on all the socials, especially Instagram and YouTube. And if you're in Massachusetts, feel free to search the Kobe real estate team to get some guidance during these markets, because everything is shifting. And from one day to the next, maybe you're a little bit out of touch, and we can help you for sure, right? So thank you so much, guys. We'll catch you soon, and keep slaying and keep investing your money to make it more and build wealth. Catch you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.